Hello, Merry Meet. So, I've been asked a couple of times, does this spell book contain spells that actually work? And I thought I would discuss that, because the actually work part, that sort of depends on you. Well, first of all, what you have to do is to have realistic expectations. Now, I'm not saying that it isn't possible that amazing direct magic can't exist. I actually believe it does. But that's something that people that's been at this for years and years and years and years might possibly be able to do. What you will be able to do most likely, however, is, for example, better your chances at finding love. Make sure that a cut heals better, but it won't be snap instantaneous. You won't find a book on Amazon that can make you take a broken bone and snap, healed. It doesn't happen. Could there be some person law that has some sort of such ability somewhere in the world? Absolutely. That's not what you're going to learn from spell books you find on Amazon. So the first thing you have to do is, of course, like I said, think about expectations. Now, when that's out of the way, the main important thing is that you have to remember that spells are tools. These spells doesn't have power in and of themselves. You do. Now, yes, some spells are written in a way that they benefit from the power of crystals, for example, or the power of certain symbols and other types of materials, basically what we call correspondences. That's what it's linked to. And when you use those things within a spell, that will carry some of the energy requirements. Think of it a bit like if you're riding a horse and carriage, that adding correspondences is a bit like adding another horse to drag that carriage. Then it becomes easier for the horse that's already there, you, to complete your task. However, at the end of the day, all of these things, the correspondences, the spells, the words, the gestures, the symbols, the tools, all of it, they are exactly that. They're tools. So the last time I was asked this question was somebody who asked about the Llewellyn yearly almanac type books, if the spells within there really works. And yes, if they work for you. Because here's the thing. You can find the most well-written, amazing, top-of-the-line, perfect spell. But if it's a very poor match to how you view magic and how you work, then it won't work for you. Or if you feel that the right way for you to gather energy and send your will out in the universe is to flip a rotten sock over your head while singing Amazing Grace, that works for you. It's about how what you need to focus your mind on the magical task. For me, for example, having some sort of spell, some sort of plan, a ritual to follow makes it easier for me to focus my will than if I just pull something out of my ass. For other people, just doing something spontaneously is what gives them the greatest sense of power. So yeah, it's all about you. So while some books will have spells that are more researched when it comes to correspondences and the wording, basically the rhyme and rhythm of the words are more pleasing to the ears and they're just more beautifully crafted. What really matters is, do they work for you? That's the main thing. Do this spell work for you? And as such, really the answer to do the Llewellyn books, the typical spell day almanac and so on and so forth, have spells and rituals that work? Yes, if you believe they'll work. Now, for example, I don't do a full circle casting every time I work magic. I don't feel I need that. And for me, if I were going to cast a full circle every time I did that, I would just end up using it less, because then it would take up so much time and energy just getting that circle there. So for my everyday rituals, I just do them, while I reserve full circle castings for religious rituals and very important spells. For other people, for example, they need that circle to make it work for them. The same with tools. Some people need to have their specialist consecrated ritual tools that have the correct types of gems and all of that, while others will just use their fingers and hands to symbolize the tools, or just use whatever they have around the home. So this is a cup, it'll work. We need a knife, well, nail file, and so on and so forth. It's very individual. So basically, none of the spells in the various spell books and books of shadows and grimoires and all of those things is instant poof, get what you want. You have to work for it. And really what they are is, you can look at them as food recipes. Some food recipes produces something that you think tastes good. Others produce something you don't think tastes good. So it's not really about, does this book have spells that work? Because while a spell might work for me, and it might work for Lisa over there, and it might work for Johnny, it might not work for you. And a spell book that you have found where you have your favorite spell in might work perfectly for you and Johnny, but not for me and Lisa, because it's very individual. So it becomes the wrong question to ask, to say, does it have spells in them that actually work? Well, it has spells in them. If this is a good tool for you or not, that depends on you. So it's a little bit differently when you come to some ceremonial magic grimoires, because they follow a system very precisely, and the correct wording, the correct pronunciation, and doing it the correct way is then a lot more important than with low magic witchcraft. So there you could say that there's a big difference from grimoire to grimoire, whatever or not something actually work within your system. But even there, these things are tools. And what's important is, does the tool work for you? Is this something that you're comfortable working with? To make another example, I like needlepoint. I pick up needlepoint pretty good. I pretty quickly learn new stitches, and I stitch evenly. I produce pretty things. However, I've never really been good at knitting. I do knit a few simple things, but I've never really learned any knitting after a pattern or anything like that. I don't pick it up quickly, because knitting is then a method of textile craft that doesn't really work very well for me, while needlepoint is. So if I were to sell you a crafting magazine, and you ask, and then or rather, let's say you sell me a crafting magazine, and I ask you, well, does it have methods in it that actually work? then that sort of becomes the wrong question, because if there's needle point patterns in there, that'll work for me. I can then take those patterns and produce pretty pictures with them. If there's knitting patterns, however, that might as well be Greek. So, yeah. It's not, the power is not in the spell. The power is in you. So the question you should ask is, does this book have spells that works for me? Does this have spells that works with my system of magic, that I think that are useful for me, and that are these good tools for me? Are these the kinds of tools that helps me contact spirits, channel energy, whatever you feel that you are doing? If yes, then the spell will work for you. If no, then the spell will not work for you, but it might work for somebody else. So yeah, that is my 2 cents on that topic. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Have a great day, and blessed be.